Ethan sat in his car, staring blankly at the rain sliding down his windshield. The wipers moved in slow rhythm, brushing away drops that only returned again and again, like his thoughts. Each one was heavier than the last. He wasn't supposed to be here. Not tonight. Not when his wife, Emma, was waiting for him at home, smiling through her loneliness, believing in the man he had promised to be. But here he was, parked outside a familiar street, outside a house he swore he would never visit again. It was his ex, Claire's place. His hands trembled on the steering wheel. His chest felt tight. He told himself it was just a conversation, just closure for the ghosts of the past that never really left him alone. But somewhere deep down, he already knew he was lying to himself. Inside that house was everything he had once desired and lost. And at home waited everything he had once prayed for and gained. He took a deep breath, turned off the engine, and stepped into the rain. Emma sat by the window, knitting a small blue sweater. It was for the child she and Ethan had been trying to have for months now. Every night, she prayed. Every morning, she smiled, even when her heart ached from the emptiness that echoed in their home. She believed love could fix anything. She believed her husband was working late again, doing his best for their future. She looked at the clock, 10:47 p.m. He was late again, but she didn't complain. She simply whispered, "Be safe, love," and continued knitting, humming a tune only she remembered from their wedding day. When Ethan knocked on Claire's door, it opened faster than he expected. She was standing there, beautiful in that nostalgic way that hurt. Time hadn't changed her much. She smiled softly, as if she had been expecting him for years. "Ethan," she said, her voice gentle but trembling. "I didn't think you'd actually come." He forced a half smile. "I almost didn't." She stepped aside. "Then come in before you change your mind." He walked into the house, and memories came flooding back. The scent of lavender candles, the soft jazz playing in the background, the framed photo of them that somehow she hadn't taken down. "It feels like nothing's changed," he murmured. Claire looked at him, her eyes glimmering with something between longing and sadness. "Everything changed, Ethan. You just walked away before seeing it." Hours passed like seconds. They talked, they laughed, they remembered. Old wounds reopened, old warmth rekindled. Claire poured him a glass of wine. He told himself he'd only stay for a few minutes, but one glass became two. Laughter turned to silence, and silence became something heavier, something dangerous. When she placed her hand on his, he didn't pull away. For the first time in years, he felt that same reckless comfort, the kind that felt like love but was really poison disguised as affection. He kissed her, and in that single moment, the world outside ceased to exist. Emma's smile faded from his mind, replaced by the echo of his past. The guilt didn't hit him until it was already over. When he looked at himself in the mirror afterward, he couldn't recognize the man staring back. At home, the rain had stopped. Emma fell asleep on the couch, the blue sweater still half finished in her lap, her phone resting on her chest. She had texted him earlier, "Don't work too hard. I miss you." The message was still marked as unread. The next morning, Ethan came home quietly. The air felt heavier than usual. He tried to act normal, kissing Emma on the forehead as she stirred awake. "You're home late," she said sleepily. He smiled faintly. "Had to stay longer at the office." She nodded, trusting as ever. "I made you breakfast. Sit with me." He did. He sat. He ate. He listened to her talk about mundane things. The grocery list, the neighbor's dog, the sweater she was making. And all the while, guilt was eating him alive. Every word she said felt like a dagger he deserved. She reached across the table, touching his hand softly. "You look tired, Ethan. Maybe take the weekend off." He nodded. "Yeah, maybe I will." But in his heart, he knew rest wouldn't come. Not after what he had done. Days turned into weeks. He tried to pretend nothing happened, but his silence grew, and Emma noticed. She asked if something was wrong. He said no. She hugged him tighter each night, unaware that every embrace made him crumble a little more inside. One evening, as he showered, his phone buzzed on the counter. Emma was about to set it aside when she saw the name light up the screen. Claire. Her heart skipped. 1,000 thoughts raced through her mind, but she didn't want to believe the worst. She wasn't that kind of wife, the suspicious, insecure type. She trusted him, but curiosity, fear, and a whisper of intuition made her tap the message open. Last night felt like old times. I can't stop thinking about you. The phone slipped from her hand. Her world shattered in silence. The floor beneath her seemed to disappear. She picked up the phone again, her fingers trembling, scrolling through the messages. There it was, every truth she didn't want to see. The betrayal written in words too intimate to deny. She didn't cry, not yet. She just stood there, numb, her heart beating so loudly she thought it would break through her ribs. When Ethan stepped out of the shower, he saw her sitting on the bed, his phone in her hand. Her eyes were red, swollen from tears she had finally allowed to fall. He froze. Emma. She looked up at him, her voice breaking. How could you? There were no excuses left. No lies strong enough to hold back the truth. He began, but she cut him off. Don't. Please. Just don't. I trusted you, Ethan. I defended you when my friends said you'd changed. I told them they were wrong. Her voice trembled with pain and disbelief. I waited for you every night, thinking you were working hard for us. And all this time, you were in her house. Ethan tried to reach for her, but she pulled away. Don't touch me, she whispered. You already did enough. He felt his world collapse in slow motion. The woman who once looked at him with unconditional love now stared at him as if he were a stranger. I made a mistake, he said, voice breaking. A terrible mistake. I don't know why I did it. She laughed bitterly through her tears. You do know. Because you wanted to. Because you chose to. Silence filled the room. Heavy, suffocating, irreversible. Emma stood up, her voice low. You didn't just cheat on me, Ethan. You cheated on everything we built together. And then she walked past him, her hand brushing the unfinished sweater on the chair as she left the room. The door closed softly behind her, but the sound hit him like thunder. Weeks later, Ethan sat alone in the same car, outside the same house, but this time, he didn't go in. Claire had called again and again, but he never answered. The last time she texted, he simply replied, "Don't contact me again." He had lost everything worth saving. Emma moved out quietly, leaving behind only the half-finished blue sweater and a note that said, "You promised forever. I guess forever ended early." He read that note every day. It was the only piece of her he had left. One evening, Ethan drove past Emma's new apartment just to catch a glimpse of her silhouette through the window. She looked peaceful, surrounded by friends, her laughter faint but real. She had begun healing. He, however, remained trapped in the wreckage of his own choices. The guilt followed him everywhere. He stopped sleeping. The house felt like a graveyard of memories. The empty side of the bed, the cold kitchen, the echo of her voice that lived in every corner. He thought of calling her, begging one last time, but he knew it was useless. Some wounds don't heal, and some mistakes can't be undone. He picked up the blue sweater one last time and finished knitting the final rows, just as she had started. His hands shook, the yarn tangled, but he kept going until it was done. Then he folded it neatly, placed it in a box, and wrote on top, "For the child we never had." Months passed, seasons changed, but Ethan's world stayed gray. He visited the church every Sunday, sitting in the last pew, whispering prayers not for forgiveness, but for peace. He never got it. People said he looked older, quieter, as if life had drained him. Maybe it had. He lived in a house filled with memories of laughter that had turned into echoes. Sometimes, late at night, he would still imagine Emma walking through the door, smiling like she used to. But it was only a cruel trick of memory. One night, as he looked out the window at the rain, he whispered, "I wish I could go back." Just one night, just one decision. But time, like love, never turns back. He had cheated once, but the price was forever. And so he sat there, staring at the rain sliding down the glass again, drops falling, washing away, returning. Outside, the world moved on. Inside, he never did.